Okay, we're going to show you a couple of different ways here that you can put images or artwork onto a three-dimensional image that does not line up with one of our axes, X, Y, or Z. So you can see here's my three-dimensional fire pit. I've already unrolled it and exploded it. I have my surfaces, and I have my curves. So the first one we're going to look at is using seaplanes. What a seaplane or construction plane will allow us to do is orient one of these faces so that we can draw directly on that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to perspective view. And if we go up to view, down to set seaplane, I think it's easiest here if we click to object. And I'm going to click on this bottom object, and we can see our grid snaps to this. So now if I wanted to, say I want to add an arc on the bottom of this fire pit here, I can do that, and I can draw directly on this. What I could then do is a split, enter, and I could get rid of that part, and now I have that drawn directly on there. We could do that for any of these planes. Simply go to set seaplane, to object, and then click on that part. The other thing we can do is we could come back and work in these seaplanes if we do something and we want to save it. So what we can do, if we right-click or click on our options button over here in the panel, we can go down to named seaplanes. There's some that are already saved here, but since I'm oriented to this one right now, I could change this to side 1, hit OK, and then it adds it in here. So I could go back here to where I'm in typical perspective view, and if I wanted to come back and work on that again, I could just double-click on that, and now here's the active plane. And we can have basically as many of these as we need. So that's seaplanes, and that's if we want to add something directly onto our 3D image, or our 3D object. We'll go back to World Top, and I'm going to get rid of the seaplane tab for now, just because I don't need it. The other thing that we can do is we can use the orient command, and we can draw or work with flat artwork. So to save time, I've already got a couple of things set up here. I have an elk head here and some elk footprints, and I'm going to add those onto opposing sides of our fire pit. So again, I'm going to work in perspective view. And what I'm going to do, if I go up to transform, orient, and I'm going to use orient 3 points for this one. Click that, it says select objects to orient. So I'm going to click on that image right there, hit enter, and then the reference points are going to be 3 points on this that I already have drawn around for my exploded view, and I'm going to go in order. So I'm going to click 1, 2, 3, and if you zoom in, you can see that it gives you those numbers there so you know which is which. Then I can rotate. Since this edge here matches up with that, I'm going to click 1, 2, 3, and now I put it on that face in the exact same place that it was on this one. We'll go ahead and do that again. Go up to transform, down to orient, 3 points. That's what I want to orient onto this side. Hit enter, reference point 1, 2, and 3, and then the matching reference points over here, 1, 2, and 3. Now that I have those on there, I can use any of the other commands that I would normally use to go ahead and cut this out. So if I highlight this, I'm going to use split in this case. Split, cutting objects are going to be all those. Hit enter. Now I could go in and, whoops, one too many. And I could cut these out to give me a realistic view of what that would look like. And then if I rotate around, I can see that I've just cut those out. And I could do the same thing over here as well. So again, that's transform, orient, 3 point. This is nice if you have something more complicated or something that you're importing, because you can work in the top viewport, get it set up the way you want, get it oriented, or get it arranged on here, and then project that onto this plane.